Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's video I'd like to have a look at, well in particular, the 3-minute chart of the NQ. This is the Nasdaq Mini. Particularly as we were looking at the markets in yesterday's training webinar, and we were saying that the markets were going to be quite tricky because it was a Fed announcement yesterday. You can see this is where the Fed did their announcement here, and it was a little bit spiky, so we said we could be having quite a hard day. But now we look at how the market unfolded as the days completed. It's very interesting how this NQ chart unfolded, and I want to have a look at this because it's a good example of how particularly the sell setups here. You can see if I zoom out, this is the whole day. This is the day from here through to here. So the only setups we got on the NQ were there's only 2 sell setups, because these 2 here, even though there's 2 history triangles, they're actually double tops. So actually there's only 1 sell setup here. And yes, you are right, that sell setup there would have been filled, would have then come out, and it would have been a -1 hour loss. So yes, that's the first trade setup here would have been a -1 hour loss. But I want to look at the second trade here and see how that would have unfolded. If I right mouse click on the red cell reversal bar, you can see that the market here made a DP, automatic DP sell at the decision point resistance area. The STF at the time was just here, it was black, so standard traders could have taken it. And if I zoom out, you'll actually see that this actually caught the very high of the day. So yes, there you were, having a short trade signal at the high of the day, which is always good as a day trader. Market came down into the first target. Interesting enough, this was actually the low of the day, and here you can see this DP target actually caught the low of the day, which was very nice indeed. Standard traders will have noticed that when the market got into the DP level here, come down, the STF was actually strong, and this is why you'd probably want to switch to the ATR stop. So if we look at this, the ATR stop was our red dots, so you'd switch to the red dots here, and you'd have actually been stopped out about here, so at about 4.9R, almost 5R profit. So a very good trade indeed, but not quite as good as it would have been right at the first target, but this happens sometimes. But the reason I'm showing this is because I wanted to show how this particular trade setup fitted in with the larger degree 15-minute chart, and this is what we teach. We always like to see the two coming together. If I go to the 15-minute chart, can you see at the high of the day yesterday, which was here, if I put the analysis on, the 15-minute chart was actually giving a TS3 sell setup. Now yes, the 15-minute chart was suggesting the market was going to keep on going down. That's why I said that when we swapped to the ATR stop, it was probably a good idea, because at the time, and let's face it, that's the only way you can make decisions. You can't go back in hindsight and say, oh well, if I'd done this, that and the other. At the time, the right decision was to swap to the ATR stop, because you were thinking the 15-minute chart was going to go down, and as such was a nice trade. But the point being is, I wanted just to review here how the initial setup was a good setup, because here the 15-minute chart was giving us a TS3 sell. So in other words, the 15-minute chart was suggesting a high and the market was going to decline. So when you got the sell set up on the 3-minute chart, which also got you short, in other words suggesting the market was going to decline, do you see how the 3-minute sell signal was in the same direction as the 15-minute signal as well? And this is what I talk about a lot, and it means that it was actually a very good signal to take. Yes, as we've already seen, we had one attempt at the high here, which made a -1 hour loss, but with position sizing, and that's our position sizing we use here to keep our risks small and under control and constant, it meant that the first loss was only a -1 hour, and the second trade, which was a profitable trade, was plus 4.9. I mean, can I call that plus 5R to make the maths easier? So plus 5 minus 1 means plus 4R, or plus 3.9 if you want to be exact, profit for the day. So I thought this was a very, very good example of how the first initial sell setup fitted in very nicely with the 15-minute chart, and that's where the two come together. It was just a pity that this trade fell on a day when the Fed was going to do their announcement, and we normally advise caution on days like that, because when the Fed do their announcements, it's normally quiet beforehand and they're very spiky afterwards. But having said that, the MTPredictor trade setups here caught the very high of the day for you. went down and had a very good short trade on the way down as well. The only sort of PS I'd say to that is for the advanced traders among you, if you put the Elliott waves on, so let's click and put the Elliott waves on this swing coming down here, you can see that it was actually a 5-wave sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with this low here coming in at this very wide range bar. If I put the volume on, I think you'll find, I'll just tab those, I think you'll find that was a high volume spike. Yes, there it was, there's our high volume spike. So as an advanced trader, although I've said you'd expect the markets to go down, when you actually look on the 15-minute chart, but when you look at this 3-minute chart, you should have been a little bit wary about this, because we're at the end of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave sequence with the low right at the minimum wave 5 WPT and a VSA spike here, which indicated that the professionals were coming in to start buying at this level. So for an advanced trader, warning bells should have started to ring, particularly as this first bar here came down into this level, and you may have wanted to actually protect your short trade by moving your stop a little bit closer. So as an advanced trader's eye, you'll see that our sell setup still caught the very high of the day, with our Elliott wave 5-wave sequence coming down here and our VSA indicator catching the low of the day. So that would have been a very good day for MTPredictor, giving you tools to catch not only the high of the day but the low of the day. But that's for advanced traders. So if you're not an advanced trader, as we've said, the standard trade management guidelines would have been short from the high of the day into the first target here. STF is strong. We then look to trail the stop with the ATR stop for a nice plus, well, 4.8, 4.9R. So a good result for the standard MTPredictor trade setups yesterday, particularly as this sell setup at the high of the day fell in line with the 15-minute signal to give you confidence to take the trade. So a good day for the standard automatic trade setups on MTPredictor for the 3-minute NQ, and also for the advanced traders among you who would have noticed that at the low of the day, the minimum wave 5 WPT combined with our VSA signal to then give you an indication of strength coming in, and as such the decline was most probably over and a rally was to start, and that's exactly what happened.